Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever found yourself wondering about the universe? Wondering about consciousness? Wondering about the implications these things might have on our lives and on our existence here in this reality? Or wondering about what we can do to advance spiritually with a greater understanding or overstanding of these things? Well, if you have, you're in luck, because this video will give you some value on those topics. I'm Chase Corrington, and this is the Chase Corrington YouTube channel, where we seek to achieve and maintain happiness through enlightenment, where we seek to discover a higher overstanding and a deeper understanding of the reality we live in. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to share this today. I've been reading a wonderful, amazing, awesome book by one David R Hawkins, MD, PhD. This is The Eye of the Eye, from which nothing is hidden. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a highly suggested book from not just me, but since this is my video on my channel, this is a highly suggested book from me, ladies and gentlemen. But if you may remember, or if you don't, either way, in the beginning of my channel, I think it was one of the first few videos I did a video about David R Hawkins and what his principles are about and why it's important to understand his philosophies and his information. And I talked a little bit about the scale of consciousness that he created or co-created, and the calibrated levels of consciousness. And all this is incredible, important information, ladies and gentlemen. But if you missed that, please go back and check it out. You'll find that valuable as well. Let's just give you an overview of who David R Hawkins is, and I'll read this right here from the back. There's a picture of him, actually. David R Hawkins, MD, PhD, ladies and gentlemen, was a director of the Institute for Spiritual Research and remains a widely known authority within the field of consciousness research even after his death in 2012. He wrote and taught from the unique perspective of an experienced clinician, scientist, and teacher, having been a life member of the American Psychiatric Association with 50 years of clinical experience. His background and research is outlined in many works, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what I'm going to read is a quote that goes perfect. I just thought it was amazing. When I found it, I reread it, highlighted, and it's important when you're reading. I'll mention this again, ladies and gentlemen. When you're reading stuff, if you highlight it, take notes, especially when I've been doing these videos, I find out when you speak things, it really helps you remember. So if you're trying to remember things that you're reading, highlight, take notes, speak about it, and it's really going to help this get ingrained. And so that's part of the reason I'm doing this, also for purposes of commentary and teaching, because this is important information to be shared. Now let's get into this quote, ladies and gentlemen, because it is amazing. Now, the inexplicable remains unpredictable, but it becomes comprehensible. The hierarchical levels of spiritual reality are now verifiable and approachable as previously invisible domains whose importance has been unsuspected. Woo! Powerful, ladies and gentlemen. And that's referring to the applied kinesiology and the calibration and the using of the method of applied kinesiology to answer truth or falsehood or weak or strong, yes or no, questions about anything, any person, any place in our reality, or maybe even in other realities. But let me read that again, because it's powerful, ladies and gentlemen. The inexplicable remains unpredictable, but it becomes comprehensible. The hierarchical levels of spiritual reality are now verifiable and approachable as previously invisible domains whose importance has been unsuspected. Bam! Boom! Pow! Now let me continue reading here a little bit after that highlighted quote there, and it might sink this in deeper and even more powerful, ladies and gentlemen. If you get value from this stuff, consider subscribing. Consider buying David R Hawkins' works. You can find it, I got it on Amazon. I'm sure you can find it in many places, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that all of human behavior and belief is dominated by levels of consciousness of increasing power with their own hidden attractor fields is an understanding that elucidates the underpinnings of the behaviors of mankind throughout history. That all of human behavior and belief is dominated by these levels of consciousness that this book and these works and David Hawkins refers to. The levels of consciousness of increasing power with their own hidden attractor fields. It's an understanding, ladies and gentlemen, that helps us understand some of the crucial mistakes or some of the greatest successes throughout mankind's history. That was a little bit of my own words inflection in there. Now, to know the calibrated level of consciousness of any culture, nation, group, person, or institution reveals a very predictable range of expected attitudes, thoughts, emotions, and mental content. Like flocks of birds that follow an invisible pattern, the behavioral patterns of whose segments of society are open to study and awareness, a given population can only accept the paradigm of reality that is within or not too far outside its own parameter as denoted by its innate calibrated fields of consciousness. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell just from that, this book contains powerful wisdom. These understandings and these philosophies and these truths that have come from an application of applied kinesiology, which is a proven and verifiable method through the scientific method. It's been proven and verified, ladies and gentlemen. So if you think I'm speaking crazy, I'm not that crazy. But that's up to you to decide. Now, there's just amazing information that you can get when you read the right stuff, when you highlight, when you take notes, and when you share your voice. And sharing, ladies and gentlemen, is extremely important, whether you're right or wrong. Because even if somebody tells you something that's wrong, you're getting their point of view. So when you're out in the world, and when you're out in the world, or I'm out in the world doing things, share your thoughts with people. Let people know what you think about things. The more you hide your thoughts, the less people are going to have a greater understanding and varied viewpoint of the world that they live in. One little last note here on the back. This is the second volume of a trilogy that began with Power versus Force and will be completed in the year 2002. So many years back already now, ladies and gentlemen. The third volume entitled I, Reality and Subjectivity. The eye of the eye, which is this, calibrates at 950 out of 1,000 on the scale of consciousness. It is more advanced than Power versus Force, which is imperative to read first, so don't go skipping, ladies and gentlemen. Also, that's up to you, and brilliantly reveals the very core of the spiritual process critical to the state of enlightenment. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Chase Corrington, and this is the Chase Corrington YouTube channel, where we seek to achieve and maintain happiness through enlightenment, where we seek to discover a higher overstanding and a deeper understanding of the truths, of the hidden mysteries in this reality we live in. If you get value from the content that I provide, consider subscribing. Hit the thumbs up and give me a like if you like this video. If not, give it a thumbs down. Make your voice heard, because by sharing, ladies and gentlemen, we can change the world. So let's go change the world one thought, one word, one action at a time.